Stand by. The program will begin soon. I don't know why I'm talking about this. During World War II, we sent 90 million pounds of spam just to the Russians alone. I mean, we sent it all over the world. Our troops, especially in the Pacific Theater, ate it. That was basically what they ate all the time. 90 million pounds to the Russians. Apparently in like the 50s, Nikita Khrushchev said, you know, if they hadn't sent us all this spam, they might not have been able to feed their troops during World War II. So a little weird canned kind of ham pork product, canned meat, may have won World War II. The Fed is trending on X. I wasn't sure why, and I'm still not 100% sure why, although part of it is because of this building that they're renovating. They're supposed to be renovating one of the buildings at the Fed, right? And the other day, Donald Trump came out there with Jerome Powell, and they're talking about how the renovation of the building was kind of a little bit over budget, okay? First of all, listen, the numbers on this are crazy. They wanted $2.something billion to renovate a building at the Fed. $2.1 billion. Well, this is $2.5 billion, but they're over budget by over $1 billion for one building. They're over budget over $1 billion for one building. $1 billion friggin' dollars for one building. This isn't even for building a new building. It's for renovating a building. What the actual F are they doing? If after a night of filling your rectum with vodka from a turkey baster, the cops find you changing a flat in the cereal aisle of a Piggly Wiggly and ask how much you've had to drink, and you say, nothing, are you lying? Well, no. Now, if they had been asking, have you been injecting? You'd have to say yes, but they said, have you been drinking? Well, no, absolutely. Yeah, Lord Stanhope, absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a good large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was... Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They can send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what it means. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which, does anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning or on the right. Is there anybody in this that anyone you know of? Is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? Because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in a church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 in the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see what that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic, she warned. These are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. They are unconscionable, unavoidable. So, that's one of the really bad California law that they're going to go. I can't believe it. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing it. Now, this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Mamdani, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in the New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. And especially religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to New York Police Department data. And Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 reported hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terrorist supporter, has proposed that the New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has his political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Every day on my show, if I put something on the screen, or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Well, this is not good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And I'm still having problems, but I'm going to do the show anyway. But here's the thing. I can't see the chat. I can't open it up on YouTube. I can't open it up on my browser here. I can't open up the chat. It won't open. And I'm trying to figure out why. And let's see. I'm opening another window here. I can't see it. So I don't know who's here. I know Avocados Diablo's here. By the way, Avocados Diablo, happy birthday, sir. I really apologize for yesterday. I really wanted to be able to say happy birthday to you on your birthday. And the stream just never works. And my YouTube just freezes up every time I open up a YouTube window in this browser. Now I'm going to try... And I guess the only thing I haven't tried yet is, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, by the way, speaking of Avocados Diablo, sir, I can see SuperChats because those are popping up in my Streamlabs here. But for some reason, I can't even turn on my chat in Streamlabs. You know, when you stream in other wherever you can put up a chat window where everything comes through Streamlabs. I can't even do that for some reason. So anyway, thank you, Avocados Diablo, by the way, you are, hang on. Oh, let me do this. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today. All I can see are Streamlabs and probably Superchats. So I apologize for that. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation in the chat. I can't see it. But earlier, Avocados Diablo says, dropping a small bullet tip jar. Sorry for my birthday curse. My birthday curse killed your stream yesterday, but a dead stream is better than the 500,000 injured and thousands dead in India on my 10th birthday, I suppose. Yes. That's good. Thank you for the super chat. Also, another one, by the way, saying the UK being the UK again. So 2 small bullets in the tip jar from Avocados Diablo. I greatly appreciate it. I wish I could see the damn chat, but if you guys can see it, that's great. I wish I could too. So I'm going to do this show fairly blind, and I'm going to find out somehow from YouTube why this is happening. I have no freaking idea. I have internet connection. I know that you guys are out there. In fact, I'm sure somebody can send me a DM and say that it's working. I hope it is. Apparently it is, because you guys, obviously AD's done 2 super chats. But I'll open that article too that you sent me here and see what that's about. Oh yeah. Yeah, UK. Oh my God, I saw this. Well, yeah, I'll definitely talk about that today. So anyway, so I can't say hi to everybody because I don't know here. I know Avocados Diablo here because you said a Streamlabs. I appreciate that. And if you guys share the stream, that'd be awesome too. I don't even know did I even share the stream this morning? I don't think I did. But some of you have. So let's go to that. Thank you too. As I get there. Thank you, TC. Here, there's what am I doing here? There we go. There you go. Thank you, TC, streaming out or sharing the stream this morning on your own, and also Somnambul Nation doing the same. I'm just reposting you guys here. It's also Miss Wild Wolf, who retweeted Somnambul Nation, and that's going to be it. I'm very frustrated right now because I like being able to see what you guys are saying in the chat, and I can't today. So I'm just going to do the show like this, and it's weird. I feel like I'm talking... What the hell was that? I feel like I'm talking to myself a little bit, but hey, that's not like the first time I've ever done that. So I've done whole streams where I didn't realize till the end of the stream that it wasn't on. But I know this thing's on now. So there you go. The only way to communicate with me is through maybe this is just a ploy by me. Try pulling up the stream on your phone for the chat. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try that. What the hell? It's worth a shot. Let's see. There's me, and pull up YouTube. Oh yeah, just pull up YouTube on a separate device. Yes, a couple of you done that. Hey, look at that. There's a chat here. All right, you guys are brilliant. All right, here we go. First the chat today. Avocado Diablo gets the bell. Yeah. Also, good morning, Midnight, aka Skilla08, our young friend, Miss Kara Soldier. What's up, Mike Savage, Blarg. Let's see, Miss Wild Wolf is here, and I said Kara Soldier. Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Glitch, with the daily message of Pope. Not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. Today's message is blessings of the Holy Ghost. I am reminded of Bobby McFerrin's words. Don't worry, be happy. Some things are outside of our power to influence, and we need to trust God's plan for us. Don't worry, He has you. So there you go. Thank you, Tyre. That's very special. Now that song's gonna be stuck in my head all day. Here's a little song I wrote, and I wanna say it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. Anyway, also good morning, Blue Eyed Scream. I think the last I heard about the WNBA was the whole dildo thing. They might want to think about that, bringing that back. Okay. Also, TC's in the house. Thank you for being here. Lewis is here. Louis. Robert's Bank. Good morning, Banks. What's up? Also, who else? Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian, is here. Good morning. And dry dumping your cash. Oh, well, we'll try that too. All right, there you go. I both hate and love that song. Right? I love that song, but gosh, it's an easy song to hate. Let's see. Not there. I'll do that on my computer later. I'll tinker around with the old computer later. Good. Thank you for the suggestion, Miss Wild Wolf. All right. Now I gotta move my phone where I can see it. Okay, let's try right there. I usually don't keep my phone right in front of me, but now I'm going to because the chat's there. All right, here we go. Let's get into some news. Or I don't even have a holiday ready. Here, let's do the holidays. What's this? By the way, well, actually, we do have the most important holiday. Wait, I don't want to hear myself. Dang it. Turn that down. Shit. All right, there we go. No volume on my phone. It's Hump Day on the 3rd of December, 2000 and what's the year? 2025. It's almost 2026. Isn't that wild? Another year gone by. And thank you, Avocado Diablo, again for another deuce in the tip jar. Try pulling up the stream on your phone for the chat, or just opening it in an anonymous browser straight from YouTube. Well, yeah, that's the problem. I can't even do it in an anonymous browser. I've tried it opening up in a separate browser too. It's something to do. It's some glitch with YouTube as I'm streaming. I don't know if anyone else is having this problem, but I certainly am. So anyway, let's get into, I did the notifications. What's this? Oh, it's Hump Day. Yeah, I can't scroll very far on the Hump Day tab. Uh-oh, am I frozen? I can't scroll very far on the Hump Day tab because literally like 2 down, it's naked people. So here's the eye candy version for Avocado Diablo. I figured you'd appreciate that for a second. And then I got, what's this? The Guardian, Eric Trump's cryptocurrency firm. What? American Bitcoin loses half its value in 30 minutes. What a fantastic hump day mood booster. Well, that's kind of messed up. Why you want to be like that? Who cares? And then this one, I haven't previewed this, but it looks like it can be humorous. And so we're gonna use this one on Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. This is we'll see what this is. By the way, y'all can hear me just fine, right? Everything is fine except for I can't see my chat. That I'm hoping that's the only problem here that we have today, because I certainly had this problem yesterday. Here's point of view. Breakfast is clearly on your mind. This is at someone's wedding, and it looks like it's funny, so we'll just watch it.
Take Melissa Renee Warren.
Do take Melissa Renee Warren.
To be my lawfully wedded wife.
To be my lawfully and pancakey. I've been scared of this all my life.
Okay, that's cute.
Just give her a second.
Oh no. Okay, that was hilarious. All right, so there you go. Happy Hump Day. The Happy Hump one has the same, buttock and them people, but no naked people right away. So you can scroll through these so you want. Oh, that took a chance. Anyway, so there you go. Also, other holidays, the actual holidays today, though. Apparently, it is National Let's Hug Day. Hey, yeah. You feel that? I'm just giving you a big hug there. Make it a... Sorry. Maybe I need some coffee. Or cough syrup. Yes, it is... keep the dumb fuckery to a minimum day. Make a gift day. Go make a gift. National Green Bean Casserole Day. Break out them French's onions. National Lisa Day, if your name's Lisa. International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Important. Don't park in anyone's, those blue sign spots, because, one, you'll get towed, and two, you're fucking up somebody else's day. National Isaac Day. National Roof Over Your Head Day. Be thankful for you having a roof over your head if you do. First day of Advent. No, it's not the first. Is it the first day of Advent? Is that what that's today? I thought that was on Sunday. Oh, like the first candle this Advent Sunday. Oh, because it's first day Advent and then Advent Sunday. National Heather Day. That's for people named Heather. National Ronald Day for people named Ronald. Feast of St. Francis Xavier. Now that's the patron saint of missionaries. So pray and feast, whether the Catholic thing. And National Dorothy Day and National Harley Day. Why with all the names? I get tired of the name days. Okay, moving on. Let's just move on. When I pulled up news today, what's this first one? Oh, Gavin Newsom decided that he wants California to have water again in case there's a fire. So apparently he's announced 8 projects adding 2.9 billion gallons of water to California's water supply. The state funded 8 initiatives with nearly $590 million in grants and loans, focusing on wastewater recycling, PFAS removal, sewer upgrades, and brackish desalination. Which it amazes me they don't have more desalination plants in California. Standouts include Antioch's new plant producing 6 million gallons daily for 20,000 households, and Irvine system protecting water for 38,000 people. Newsom called it a way to build drought resilience as reservoirs hits 118% capacity, yet allocations remain as low as 10% of requests. The effort formed part of a broader investment in seeding $11 billion since 2019 to handle hotter, drier conditions. Well, how about just whatever. So he's excited about that, and his press office is putting stuff out here. Some people said, absolutely, Gavin Newsom, your bold moves in recycling, desalination, and PFAS removal are transforming California's water future, securing 2.98 billion gallons a year, strengthens our drought resilience, blah, blah, blah. This is someone just blowing rose petals up his ass. Somebody here says you brag about 2.9 billion gallons like it erases years of mismanagement that helped create the crisis in the first place. You throw money at projects after ignoring infrastructure collapse, neglecting reservoirs, and failed expansion for decades. You call it resilience because admitting the real cause would point straight at your own policies. You're not fixing California's water. You're trying to fix your reputation. Damn! Damn! You tell him. Good morning, Laura Stanhope. How you doing? So there you go. He's covering his ass because he blew it and then let a bunch of the city burn and shit, even though they're going to make a new, what do they call that? Smart city or whatever the hell they're going to make out there in California. FTG Gavin Newsom. Fuck that guy. All right. Also, now, this is one of these stories out of Minneapolis, and this seems to be a story that seems to be playing over and over again, not just in Minneapolis, but in places where we're getting cultural enrichment. Because for some reason, there's certain communities that apparently aren't cannot be held accountable for their actions because of maybe their religion or their just cultural differences. So this guy who is charged with kidnapping and unwanted sexual activity, after prior assault convictions. So this is another one of these two. They keep letting him go, and then they do it again, and they let him go, and they do it again. In September, someone named Muhammad, 28, met a woman on Snapchat, drove her from Mankato to a Bloomington hotel, took her phone, and held her against her will for nearly a week while doing the nasty things to her. I'm just going to let your imagination run wild because, it's just disgusting. Several times, multiple times, and then threatening to shoot her. She escaped on September 21st and told paramedics she had also been strangled. This follows to prior convictions for SA in 2017 and May 2024. So not even just a little over a year ago. Also in 2017, twice, this guy's been convicted, both involving Snapchat lures and threats of violence, for which he received stayed sentences and probation instead of prison time. Now that's, you gotta go, wait a minute. Why? Now he faces felony charges of kidnapping and criminal sexual conduct and is held at a $300,000 bond. Well, let me tell you why. Because in Minnesota and many places where the communities become communities, there are judges that just let them go because cultural differences or whatever. Oh, they just don't understand our culture. Excuse me, kidnapping and forced. You know what? We don't need that shit in our culture. I'm sorry. Let's learn. This would be a quick way to learn our culture, to go to prison for 20 years. That's how you learn the culture. We don't need the cultural enrichment. So here's someone named, and Mary Moriarty is a judge who oversaw, or no, I think she was the prosecutor, right? For Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty, which Hennepin County is Minneapolis and the near western suburbs, okay, of Minneapolis. Mary Moriarty oversaw the prosecutions of Somalian Abdihamat Bile Muhammad. She agreed to plea deals for 2 convictions for that unwanted sexual activity. The deals gave this asshole no prison time. Now, maybe the first time, he tripped on a fucking cat and accidentally put his penis in somebody. Maybe, I don't know. You think about maybe going, okay, here, let's have some cultural enrichment and, make it hard to do. But this was the second time he did it. And now there's a third time he's going to go again to be charged. So no prison time. Months later, he did it again. And now he's done it again. Should this prosecutor go to jail? I don't understand why we give leniency due to cultural differences. It's so weird. Look, and this is not indicative of every Somali person in the whatever in Minnesota, not at all. But the ones who do this shit should have the hammer of the law hitting them on the head, and somehow they don't. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. Who said? Oh no. Well, Avocados Diabli, another small bulletin tip jar, says, well, the euphemism is unwanted sexual activity, starts with an R and ends with an ape, has only been a crime in Somalia for about 6 years after all, and the only penalty is you have to buy the victim a goat or a camel. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's terrible. Is that all you have to do in Somalia? You got to buy him a goat or a camel. Problem is, a woman can't even claims that it happened to her because you got to have 6 witnesses and then they get stoned for getting the unwanted activity. It's terrible. Or as Charles Barkley would say, terrible. Wait, who's this? Hello, Lord's follower 2139. That's unfortunately I can only see your @ names and my chat isn't working here. Would someone possibly be willing to help my son and I get some groceries? We have not gotten our food stamps and no food banks in my town are open and I don't know what to do. Kelsey Kirby. Kelsey, is that your name, Kelsey? Yeah, I don't know. Are you still here? I don't know. That is true, AD? Are you sure? Wasn't even a crime until 2019. That's crazy. Oh man. Is that real? I don't even know. Anyway, so lots of people talking about this on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, breaking twice convicted who served no jail time for either rape, including and one of them was a minor? One of them was just a minor? Holy shit, was just arrested for kidnapping a woman, holding her hostage for days, and getting her again. What the fuck is going on in Minnesota? I'd like to know, too. This motherfucker better go straight to jail, don't pass go, don't collect $200, and maybe get a couple shivs from the Mexican prison gangs. I'm sorry. He should be done. Now, let's see this report.
Man out on probation for sexual assault is charged once again. This time, prosecutors say he picked up a woman he met on Snapchat and raped her at a hotel in Bloomington.
Okay. I've been avoiding saying it, and then the news report here just says he did it.
Prosecutors once called this man an extreme public safety risk, but he never spent a day in prison for his previous crimes. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni joining us from our newsroom.
By the way, Fox 9 in Minnesota is not a conservative channel at all. Okay, just FYI. They're editorial board and everything. So you can't blame this on Fox News.
Now, and Mike, prosecutors signed off on plea deals in these previous cases.
Kelsey,
why?
Judge.
Why? I'm just curious, okay? I'm just curious. Have they ever considered signing off on a plea deal for, say, one of our Caucasian brothers? What the actual F that on a charge where there is unwanted sexual attention. The use of this again starts with an R, ends with an ape. I wonder if they can find any time where someone got a plea deal or a brother, not even just the Caucasian brother, it's a brother. But time after time after time, we're seeing this here. We're seeing it in the UK. We're seeing it in places, everywhere else where this happens, that for some reason we're going to give them a pass or at least a day pass to be outside all the time. This is messed up. This is messed up.
Sentenced the Minneapolis man in those cases back in May, but he got credit for time served, so he never went to prison. It should have
been 20 years.
This is the man we're talking about. His name is Abdemahat Billy Muhammad, but prosecutors say the 28-year-old uses the names Kareem and Altesto on Snapchat, and that is where investigators say he met his latest victim as well as his two previous ones. Prosecutors say he picked up.
And one of them was a minor?
Up his most recent victim in Mankato back in September, then drove her to a hotel near the Mall of America where he took her phone, told her she wasn't leaving, raped her, and held her against her will for days. That's according to prosecutors. Investigators used DNA to identify Muhammad as the suspect. His profile was already in the database from previous cases involving sexual assaults in Minneapolis in 20.
I can't listen to it anymore. I already read it anyway, but I don't understand. Here, what's this? Oh, and here's Mary Moriarty worrying about Trump sending ICE to the Twin Cities. GFY, Mary. GFY. All right. Now, by the way, a couple things trending. Somalis and Somalians are trending anyway. All kinds of stuff. Because people are talking about all the fraud in Minnesota. And unfortunately, it's coming from a community where fraud is rampant. And I'm sorry if it happens to be that community. If that's where it's coming from, then that's where you blame. That's who you blame. All right. So first of all, federal probes target Minnesota welfare fraud linked to the Somali community. The Trump administration has opened probes into fraud and programs like child nutrition and pandemic aid, allegedly run by members of the Minnesota's Somali American community of around 80,000. Cases like Feeding Our Future led to dozens of charges since 2021, with claims of hundreds of millions of stolen from taxpayers. Governor Tim Walz denies ignoring warnings, although his 400 Minnesota state agency workers said he did. While new investigations cover tax fraud, fake visas, and ties to terrorism, ICE raids in Minneapolis have drawn sharp local opposition. The scrutiny highlights ongoing tensions over immigration and aid in the state. So, Okay, this is Michael Knowles. Okay, I won't get political at dinner. Me after one sip of beer.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too.
Okay.
I can say it about other countries.
I can't even pause this. What the hell happened there? I couldn't even pause it. It was, he went off on it. Let's just put it that way. Now, this is Fox News. An alleged fraud of funds exceeding $1 billion was taken from poor families, children, and the disabled as the government ignored warnings for years. So what is missing to make this news? Apparently a Republican. Oh, shit! Ain't that the damn truth? ABC, CBS, and NBC evening newscast have ignored the Minnesota fraud case. Now, of course, it's the evil Fox News telling you this. Walz under scrutiny for massive fraud scheme happening on his watch in Minnesota. Oh, is this a video report? It's 3 minutes. We're gonna watch it. I don't care.
$1 billion fraud scandal in his state. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Well, the liberal New York Times with a deep dive into the fraud.
We didn't feed our future. It wasn't me. We didn't did the tax fraud. Never mind. I was trying to think of lyrics to throw into there, and I'm not that quick, so. Oh, what the hell? No, that's not what I was trying to do. Okay, that's what I get for being a smartass. Come on, baby. There we go. We'll just play it without interruption.
$1 billion fraud scandal in his state. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Well, the liberal New York Times, with a deep dive into the fraud allegations, called out Minnesota social services and COVID-era programs.
This is about that New York
Governor
Times article
Walz's
from last week,
So,
or from
I guess
Monday,
it
I
was
mean.
him. A majority of the suspects are from the state's Somali community. And
a majority is quite the understatement. It's quite the understatement. Like, 78 people charged. I think there were 2 that weren't Somalis on this one.
here is the former vice presidential candidate defending himself.
How well does he defend himself?
Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
No, he's going to blame it on Trump.
Well, certainly, I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Minnesota is a generous state.
Minnesota
is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can, but to demonize
not
an
because
entire
of you,
community on
not
the
because of you,
actions of
Tim.
a few, it's lazy.
Okay, we saw that bullshit the other day here.
Well, the only one being demonized based on the facts is the fact that the governor didn't do what he should have done when he could have. Well, the Minnesota Department of Human Service employees account posted this, quote, while Tim Walz makes all manner of incorrect statements about Minnesota leading, what we really lead in is failed governance. Tim Walz has turned Minnesota into a failed state with deteriorating infrastructure, education, and economic metrics. And worst of all, we are failing our most vulnerable citizens by letting cripple state services. End of quote. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin. Mike.
And here's Minnesota Republicans are making it clear that this widespread fraud happened on Tim Walz's watch, and he should own it. It started with emergency.
Oh, he won't own it. He's blaming Trump for it.
Years. 50 people have been convicted. 78 are charged. The suspects are concentrated in Minnesota's Somali community. And since the Somalis have grown into a powerful political voting bloc, Minnesota Democrats, particularly Governor Tim Walz,
are afraid
accused of turning a blind eye to the fraud. One attorney involved in the case reportedly said the state ignored all the red flags. It was like someone was stealing from a cookie jar, and they kept refilling it. An account for the Department of Human Services representing 480 members posted on X. Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers.
Yes, they did.
This is a cascade of failures leading up to Tim Walz. The Republican House Speaker and candidate for governor says the fraud
we're putting
exploded
people
with
in
Walz
jail.
in office.
He has said that he takes responsibility for putting people in jail, but he's never apologized to the taxpayers. He's never taken accountability of saying this has happened on his watch, and he's pushed it aside until I, as Speaker of the House, established the Fraud Prevention and Agency Oversight Committee this legislative session, and it has finally drawn national attention.
And remember, too, Democrats have been in control of the legislature in both houses of Minnesota up until this last election, where they have even splits, and they split the Speaker of the House duties in the House. But the Minnesota Senate is still solidly Democrats. This is a Democrat thing. Tim Walz and the Democrats of Minnesota turn a blind eye to it because the Somali community is very supportive of Democrats. Period. That's end of story. And also because if you investigate someone with skin darker than, well, mine, I'm pretty light skinned. But anyway, if you investigate people with dark skin, that would be, what is that called? Yes, it's racist.
The alleged fraud hits hard in 3 areas. A program called Feed Our Families, meant to provide meals to poor families during
Feeding
COVID.
our future, not
a
the
housing
families.
program, and a program for autistic children. The claim is that people were setting up bogus companies or claiming to provide services that were never delivered. In the case of autistic children, the allegation is that parents were getting a kickback for claiming their child was autistic and getting aid for treatment. Harris?
So, there's that. Tim Walz is a shitbag. Anyway, so Somalians. Oh, by the way, now whenever you have something like this,
5 more words.
the fuck is that? Oh, shut up. That's like not what I meant to do there. Now, here's another problem though. Now that there's investigations, now that there's, they're looking into the immigration status of some of the people who probably committed immigration fraud, because fraud is just rampant in the Somali community. Well, we must think about the blowback. Okay, so another thing that was trending, or the article that was going on this morning, was this. Fears of racial profiling rise in ICE's Somali deportation push. Racial profiling? Really? ICE operations focus on Somali immigrants with final deportation orders following the Trump, or ICE's operations focus on Somali immigrants with final deportation orders following the Trump administration's decision to terminate temporary protected status for those who fled civil war in the 1990s. Concerns grow from unverified reports like a Chicago-born black man allegedly held despite proof of citizenship and past raids where bystanders faced brief questioning. Oh my gosh, brief questioning. If they were probably interfering with the ICE raid. Officials insist agents target legal status using databases and warrants, not race, while Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry warns of risks to citizens who look Somali. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz calls the effort a divisive stunt as arrests begin. Well, if they have deportation orders for some people, in the immortal words of Justin Timberlake and what's that other dude? Something Chavez or whatever. JC something. Bye, bye, bye. So anyway, I'm guessing they have a solid head start on who to detain. Oh, something Jesse. She's replying to Jesse Kelly. Now again, this person, this is going to end up with random black people deported. We should all be concerned about this rhetoric and how it will harm black people from various ethnic backgrounds. To which this person replies, I don't know what's worse, dumb bitches who get on the internet and just spray this blatant lie, or the horrifying amount of room temperature IQ pieces of Democrat farm equipment who actually believe this shit. Yeah, you know. I'm sorry. I'm not. I just can't. Let's see. As I scroll down this, is there any funny? I'm just looking for the funny comments now. Random black people don't look Somali to me. Yeah, I'm a random black man. I'm not looking all that Somalian shit. They held a random black man in Chicago for hours, born and raised there with his birth certificate in his backpack. Really? I need some evidence of that. I need some evidence. Someone else to that. Oh, they're going to start deporting random black people. Black folk always got to make something about everything about them. No. No. When this person says random black people, it's a virtue whistle to loop black Americans into taking action. I don't give a damn. That's a black woman saying that. So anyway, but yeah, so anytime that this happens, it's like, oh, what about the poor people who are going to be this and that? All right, let's move on. Fisherman was also trending. Apparently, I haven't followed the whole them shooting down the drug boats and shit, but Fisherman's trending because the family of a Colombian fisherman who was killed on the September 15th U.S. military strike in the Caribbean Sea filed a formal complaint Tuesday with the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, alleging the U.S. government illegally killed him. And then the ABC News has an article here. Let's see here. Trump administration live updates. Heggs has said he did not see second boat strike or survivors. Oh, because they accused. All right, so what happened? I know one thing that's happened is they accused Pete Hegseth of ordering the military after they did one of these strikes that said they saw, oh, well, there was someone that survived, and he ordered them to strike again and make sure they kills them all. Well, now apparently today, President Donald Trump's going to make an announcement in the Oval Office a day after he said he didn't know about the second strike on an alleged drug boat in September that reports say killed 2 survivors of the initial strike. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Tuesday that he didn't see the second strike and didn't see survivors from the initial strike. Hegseth has backed Admiral Mitch Bradley, who's the White House said made the decision on the second strike. Bradley is set to brief the Senate and House Armed Services Committee on the strikes on Thursday. Now, the other part here, the family of the fisherman in that strike filed a human rights complaint, which I just read that. This says the family of the Colombian fisherman who was killed on the September 15th U.S. military strike in the Caribbean Sea filed a formal complaint Tuesday with the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights alleging the U.S. government illegally killed him. From numerous reports, we know that U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth was responsible for ordering the bombing of boats like those of Alejandro Carranza and the murder of all those on such boats, they wrote in their petition. Secretary Hegseth has admitted that he gave such orders despite the fact that he did not know the identity of those being targeted for these bombings, the extrajudicial killings they added. So this is what they're saying that he did. Carranza's lawyer, Dan Kovilik, said the fisherman's family has no recourse to adequate and effective remedies in Colombia to obtain redress for the injuries they have suffered due to actions of the United States. Hegseth has maintained that the strikes are all legal and claims that the military has evidence that the boats were carrying drugs. Rand Paul has also slammed the White House response to the second strike. Republican Rand Paul characteristically broke with the majority of his GOP colleagues in his reaction to growing accusations of war crimes facing the Pentagon following the reveal of the second boat strike in September, which, according to reports, targeted survivors of an initial strike. Paul said he had concerns about the reports that Hegseth had gave an order that would say kill them all, words that the White House denied Hegseth said. He also said that he had concerns with conflicting explanations about who knew the details and when. Most Republican senators responded to repeated questions about the September 2nd strikes by sidestepping, saying they support the overall mission in the Caribbean. Senator Eric Schmidt told reporters there was 100% legal justification for taking out the narco-terrorist boats. Let's see. So there you go. And that's the update on that. All right. By the way, we've got a $30 sponsor, Alan. Oh my gosh! Again, you're just you're killing me with kindness. With the only message is morning dog. Well, Alan, thank you and welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. Also, Evan S is in the house. Anyone else? Select the boys in the house. Boy. And I hope I didn't miss anybody else. I'm trying to read the chat on my phone, which is so tiny here, even though my eyes work very well when my contacts are in, which they happen to be in right now. Thank you very much. You are now the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, Alan. And also the largest donation of the day. Very, very kind. Greatly appreciated, sir. That's so generous. Amazing. All right. What else is going on? Oh, now I want to talk about Nashville now, because that's what a lot of people were talking about yesterday. A lot of people are talking about it now, and that's what I have up there in the thumbnail, talking about this election in Tennessee. It was a special election to fill a congressional seat. For some reason, I don't know why they had to fill the seat, but good old Ashland, what's her name? Afton Bain. The one who was saying how much she hated Nashville when part of the district that she was running for office is Nashville. Well, she lost, and it's a district that Trump won by 20 points in the last election. The winner, Matt Van Epps, won by 13 points in the special election, even though all the liberals in Nashville decided to come out and vote. But the weird part, I guess it's not weird, but the part that people are now complaining, because they were all 2 days ago, all the people on the left were like, oh yeah, she's gonna win, she's gonna win, she's gonna win, she's gonna win, and she lost by a lot, and they're all mad, and now they're all focusing on Nashville being a gerrymandered city now, which is kind of interesting. And a lot of them pointing this out. So here's how they're saying she won. This is how Matt Van Epps beat Afton Bain in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, the most blatant and ridiculous levels of gerrymandering done by Republicans. 2/3 of Nashville votes blue, but has zero representation in Congress. Republicans are cheaters, and nobody who sees this can say otherwise. So they're showing this, how this district's cut up in Nashville, right? And in fact, here's Tim Miller. This is one of the outrageous gerrymandering examples. Nashville doesn't even have a representative. The Republicans gerrymandered Tennessee, though, so Nashville like a pizza pie, right? And I go, well, wait a minute. Oh, and there's a lot of people like putting that picture up. Here's the district that they won. Okay, so it has part of Nashville, it has part of Franklin, it has part of Clarksville, and this was before. this is early on. It's for someone said it was 95% in, but that's not true. This isn't even right. That's not what happened. She lost. Okay. Now, someone here says the 7th congressional district is designed to be uncompetitive. Trump won it by 22% 1 year ago. They carved Nashville into 3 districts to tilt the scales. The plummeting support for the president today shows no Republican is safe in 2026. Well, if you want to give us, examples of gerrymandering, you should look at Oregon. You should look at Illinois. You should look at Maryland, which are ridiculously gerrymandered states. And I think the point I wanted to make when I started reading some of these people bitching about gerrymandering in Tennessee is I agree. I think that is a ridiculous map, okay, in Tennessee. But I think there are ridiculous maps all over this country. And the vast majority of ones that actually, cause this kind of thing are in liberal states, but they never complain about their own gerrymandering. And I have a proposed solution for that, is that they make some kind of legislation that congressional districts cannot by law be gerrymandered for any reason, not for parties, not for race, not for anything, because it's almost like they're demanding gerrymandering for some places, but they're mad when they lose to gerrymandering. If you forced every state to draw their maps just based even out on population, Democrats would never win that either. That's why most of these, like Illinois, especially that district that goes from like East St. Louis and it winds up through the state to pick up more Democrat votes, so that there's no representation there either. So I'm all for ending gerrymandering if everybody gets rid of gerrymandering. But and also Portland, for example, a lot of those districts in Oregon, the reason they dip into Portland is not to make so those other places will have a Democratic representative, or excuse me, a Republican representative, but they take Portland population to make all the representatives Democrat, and in Massachusetts too. Like they again, stop gerrymandering any state, and I'll listen to you when you complain about Nashville. So. But anyway, so this Afton, whatever the hell her name is, she lost. You would know this is a campaign that lost from the mood at Afton Ben's headquarters. In introducing Ben, her political director said, "This is the beginning, not the end. We outperformed every metric we needed." Well, no, you got all the people in Nashville to come out and vote. And the outsiders, probably didn't, see it as that important. So there you go. But she's also trending. This is Afton Bain, or I don't even know how to say her name. But someone says Afton Bain may have lost the election, but she will make a delightful homeowners association president. That's funny. Afton Bain was never going to win. The real result was if she was going to overperform, which she did by a lot. Well, special elections, Democrats are good at getting people out. Now, the incomparable Scott Jennings has something to say about this whole thing. Let's put this on the screen. I haven't heard it yet.
Well, first of all, there's lessons to be learned from everything. When you win, there's lessons. When you lose, there's lessons. And so I'm sure they'll look and see who turned out and what messages were effective and which ones weren't, and that'll be something the party can move going forward. It's an off-year special election. The turnout matrix is far different than a presidential, and it'll be different than what comes out in November. So you can take nothing
Oh, it
for
got down
granted,
to 8
of course,
apparently.
and Republicans do have historical headwinds. I still think they are in position to make an argument that their economic theories are better than the Democrats' theories. And Democrats, after all, took prices to the moon, and now they want to forget the last 4 years and pretend like this just started 10 months ago.
Oh, did you see Caitlin's face when he said that? Did you see the grimace? Wait a minute. Watch Caitlin. I'm going to just watch Caitlin this whole time now. Watch Caitlin Collins while Scott Jennings talking. You see the change in the look on her face. Watch.
So you can take nothing for granted, of course, and Republicans do have historical headwinds. I still think they are in position to make an argument that their economic theories are better than the Democrats' theories. And Democrats, after all, took prices to the moon, and now they want to forget the last 4 years and pretend like this just started 10 months ago.
She didn't like that.
No,
Did you
that's
see it?
ridiculous. I do have a slight disagreement with David. I do think we'll hear from her again. I think she'll run again, and I think she and her brand of politics are the median Democrat. This is the basic Democrat you're going to get in most races around the country. This person running on defund the police, radical progressive positions, whether you're in Nashville or Manhattan or Florida or California, wherever you happen to be, this is what
Mom
the Democratic
Donnie
base wants.
broke the
most
seal.
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs person they can find, and they're going to look at these results and say, hey, this is how we got so close, so let's replicate it around the country. I think we'll hear from her and her kind for the next year. I don't think it'll be good for Democrats.
But can I ask you on that, because you said that she ran on defund the police. There were her past comments on that.
Yeah, she didn't run on that, but she hasn't necessarily denounced her prior comments.
She said that was basically when she was a private citizen, before she was representing the state legislature. I mean, that wasn't like a core tenet of her campaign. She talked about
She still said
affordability.
it.
So I think my question is do you really think that's what every Democrat looks like? I mean, I don't think that was the main. That was something that a criticism of hers, obviously, in past comments, but that wasn't the tenet of her campaign or anything.
She got asked about it repeatedly and refused to back away from it. And look, I'm just telling you, this is what Democrats believe, and this is what their base wants. That's why she wouldn't go back on it. I was just a private citizen. Oh my gosh, we've never held what you said as a private citizen against you in a political campaign.
Outperformed all the metrics other than the one that mattered. True.
Way to just maintain a position that nobody likes. This is the median Democrat position. She is the median Democrat candidate, and that's what their base wants. So that's what we're in for, and Republicans need to draw bright lines on this stuff in every race in the country.
Yeah, we'll see what the takeaways are. Scott Jennings, David Urban, Alon.
Anyway, so there you go. Good point. Not anyone else here. Oh, Tennessee friends, today is the day. Get out and vote for Afton Bean. This race matters. Sorry, Amy, you lost. Anyway, Afton Bain's overperformance in TN-07, Tennessee 7. A Trump plus 22 district is a flashing warning sign for Republicans heading into the midterms. Republicans had to spend millions just to barely hold on to this seat. Well, not barely. My full statement of tonight's election results from DNC Chair Ken Martin. What happened tonight in Tennessee makes it clear Democrats are on offense and Republicans are on the ropes. Afton Ben's overperformance in the Trump plus 22 district is historic and a flashing warning sign for Republicans heading into the midterms. Afton centered on her campaign on lowering grocery, housing, and healthcare costs for Tennessee families, which she has no power to do whatsoever. Her Republican opponent ran his campaign focused on Donald Trump, and he had to get bailed out by a massive Republican spending onslaught to barely hold this traditionally safe Republican seat. The fact that, okay, look, hold on. The idea that it was only Republicans who spent millions and millions of dollars in Tennessee. That's some funny shit. They wanted this so bad. The fact that Republicans spent millions to protect this Trump plus 22 district and still lost so much ground should have GOP shaking their boots. Democrats are on all gas and no brakes as we head into next year, organizing everywhere and competing in elections across the country. Well, I'm going to agree with him here. If Republicans want to not get shellacked in the midterms, they need to start organizing too. Because one thing the Democrats have an advantage of in spades is their ability to organize people and bring people out to vote against Donald Trump. Okay. And whether you're a Republican who likes Donald Trump or not, you certainly don't want the policies of these Zohran Mamdanis coming into Congress. And again, sit on your hands at your own risk is what I say to Republicans. So now let's see, very little concession in Afton Baines' fiery concession speech. Democrats are fired up and we're headed into 2026 with no momentum. Let's see her hear her concession speech here, or at least this part of it.
And this campaign was
Oh my God. Oh my God. Do I have to listen to this voice? Oh my God. It's just what I was expecting.
It's deeper than politics. We ran on an idea that government should work for working people. That families should be bankrupted by medical bills, that rural hospitals should stay open, and that health...
Yeah, didn't Democrats, weren't they the ones trying to kill that thing for rural hospitals that the Republicans had in the big, beautiful bill? They tried to kill that part, so I'm not sure why she's talking about rural hospitals. She needs to shut the fuck up.
Care costs shouldn't go up because someone in Washington wants a talking point.
Your health care is going up because the Affordable Care Act, well, let me just phrase it up or sum it up in one word. Bullshit. 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 So there you go. That's why the health care costs are going up. Afton!
We ran on the belief that our story in Tennessee is bigger than the cynicism that has held this state hostage for decades.
Hostage, huh?
And tonight, because I believe in Southern hospitality, I called the Congressman-elect, Matt Van Epps, and I had one question for him. What will define what happens next? Do not let the Affordable Care Act subsidies expire. Do not raise healthcare costs.
It's not raising healthcare costs. You're putting them back to where they were before the pandemic. You're not raising healthcare costs for those because the subsidies are still, the prior subsidies are already in. You're not raising health. They're just going back to what they were before the COVID, which were shitty. I know, but they're not raising healthcare costs. They're doing exactly what the Democrats had put forth. Exactly how the Democrats put them forth. So it's not raising healthcare costs for millions of Americans. It's going back to what it was. They keep lying about that. That's amazing. They just can't stop lying about that.
For working families in Tennessee. But this isn't the end of our story. It's not even close. Because what we have built here in this district, this grassroots movement, is part of something bigger that is happening across the South and is happening across this country. Because we are tired of people outside of this state telling us that the
Why did they drag that poor woman with the head injury out of the hospital? Oh, stop it.
backwards, that it's hopeless, and it's destined to be ruled by the same powerful people again and again. The South is not silent because the South has something to say.
I just wonder how she got all these black people behind her. Don't y'all brothers and sisters back there know that the worst thing that could happen to black people is a white liberal woman? Come on now.
At Tennessee, we are leading the way. We have inspired an entire country. They are with us tonight.
What? No, you haven't. It's just the only special election out there, so everyone's paying attention to it. And you lost.
So proud.
So inspired.
So proud of what we were able to do.
Lose.
And we may not have won tonight, but we changed the story of what's possible here. And we're not done. Not by a long shot. So tomorrow, we keep fighting.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we keep building. Tomorrow, we keep organizing.
And they're good at that, I'm telling you. And look, they got so many these NGOs, or not, I don't know why I call them NGOs, all these, let's just say foreign money backed organizations that help them get people out. It's fucked up.
Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in each other. And thank you for believing in a South that refuses to be
I know you
quiet.
can't see it. See this? See that right there? That's the new name for MSNBC. It's MS Now. They had to change their name because NBC wouldn't want nothing to do with them anymore. So just FYI. So there you go. That's Afton's fiery concession speech. All right. Now, it's funny. I didn't really, let's hear. Avocados Diabli sent me this article. I wanted to make sure I get to this before we go. We'll finish up with this. So, and he said, and then in his priority chat donation, said UK being the UK. Well, this is another article from the BBC. Yeah. Another article from the BBC. This is going to be the BBC's theme music. Oh, yeah. You know you love it. You know you love it, baby. An article from the BBC telling you how fucked up the UK is and getting worse. Jury trials are scrapped for crimes with sentences of less than 3 years. Now, before I even read this article, this tells me there's going to be a problem, especially for people who maybe put mean tweets on the internet or say something that someone finds offensive, which is funny because whenever I see these police, raids of people in the UK who may have had an offensive post on X, or even sometimes just for liking an offensive post on X, and then they go to trial, they tend to send people to jail for what, 18 months or whatever, or 9 months or 2 years. So when I see this headline, jury trial scrapped for crimes with sentences of less than 3 years, that means every one of those crimes are going to be a bench trial where a single judge decides whether or not you should be go to jail for something offensive. Now, when I think about this, have you ever seen a case? Like, I'll start trying to watch for them. But have you ever heard of a case like in the UK where they go and raid people because they said something offensive? Have you ever seen it when it's someone who has said something offensive about the Church of England? Or if someone said something offensive about heritage Brits? I'll call them heritage Brits, not native Brits, because there's a lot of native Brits who don't necessarily have heritage in Great Britain, in the UK, or otherwise. But it's not, apparently, because I'm not here to defend white people, but if someone says something disparaging about a white person in Great Britain, will the police come knocking at their door? Probably not. Or even just a British brother who's been a British brother for, what's the actor? He's that really cool actor dude, who they thought could be a James Bond eventually. He's a Brit. He's a Brit, right? And if someone said something, well, they'd say something. If someone said something offensive about him, it's because he was black. So anyway, you know my point. Idris Elba, thank you. I couldn't think of his name. He's a good-looking fellow, good actor. Enjoy the movies he's in because he's just a good actor. Anyway, jury trial scrapped for crimes of less than 3 years. Jury trials in England and Wales for crimes that carry a likely sentence of less than 3 years will be scrapped, the Justice Secretary has announced. The reforms to the justice system include creating swift courts. Oh, so they can just get that shit done and put your ass in jail. Hello, JB. Swift courts under the government's plan to tackle unprecedented delays in the court system. Serious offenses include murder, robbery, and Rape will still go before a jury, and volunteer community magistrates. Oh, volunteer community magistrates who deal with the majority of all criminal cases will take on even more work. David Lammy said the reforms were bold but necessary, but the conservatives described the plans as the beginning of the end of jury trials. Retired Court of Appeal Judge Sir Brian Levison was asked by the Lord Chancellor to come up with a series of proposals to reduce the backlog in the courts, in a process which began in December 2024. These proposals included jury-free trials and more out-of-court settlements like cautions. In July, Sir Brian said fundamental reforms were needed to reduce the risk of total system collapse. A previous version of the plan leaked to the BBC and the Times last week. I'm so childish. And based on Sir Brian's proposal, was to end jury trial for most crimes attracting sentences of up to 5 years. But announcing the reforms in the Commons on Tuesday, David Lammy retreated from the most radical reforms. Lammy said the new system would get cases dealt with a fifth faster than jury trials. He added that it was necessary as current projections have Crown Court caseloads reaching 100,000 by 2028. Now, I wonder why that is, that there are so many cases that it just exploded in Great Britain. Oh, you know, if I was a Brit, I would get arrested for this, but could it be because of the immigration issues there? Anyway, from the current backlog of almost 78,000, this means that currently a suspect being charged with an offense today may not reach a trial until 2030. Now, that is a problem, okay? Now, 6 out of 10 victims of unwanted sexual activity are said to be withdrawing from prosecutions because of delays. Because there's so many of those cases these days now. Could that be the problem? A defendant's right to a jury. Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. But those are still going to go to jury trials. Anyway, a defendant's right to a jury trial would also be restricted to prevent them from gaming the system, Lammy said. What do you mean gaming the system? That's a major tenet in British common law, to have a trial of a jury of your peers. Gaming the system. The reform to the jury process will remove the right for defendants to ask for a jury trial where a case can be dealt with by either magistrates or a new form of judge-only Crown Court. Defendants facing fraud and complex financial crimes accusations will no longer get a jury trial. A recommendation made to the government early this year by a retired senior judge. But jury trials will be guaranteed for the most serious offenses, including unwanted sexual activity, murder, aggravated burglary, blackmail, people trafficking, grievous bodily harm, and the most serious drug offenses. Excuse me. There are about 1.3 million prosecutions in England and Wales every year, and 10% of those cases go before the Crown Court. Of those, 3 out of 10 results in a trial. The reforms appear to mean that more than 2 out of 10... Wait, what? Now, why'd they write it this way? The reforms appear to mean that more than 2 out of 10 will still go before a jury. You mean like 1 in 5? Critics of restrictions to trial by jury include almost all barristers, who say it won't have any impact on the backlogs because the real problem has been cut to the MOJ. Evidence shows that ethnic minorities believe they get fairer hearings with juries than with magistrates alone. Now that's interesting. They're going against the ethnic minorities on this one. Lammy has previously said that cutting juries would be a mistake, but told the BBC ahead of the announcement that the facts had changed and the government needed to bring in reforms to clear the backlog. Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick, accused Lammy of scrapping the institution he once lauded. He told the Commons, "Why on earth does this Justice Secretary think he has a mandate to rip up centuries of jury trials without even a mention of it in his party's manifesto?" Lammy responds that the changes were needed because the previous government had cut court sitting days and magistrates already deal with the vast majority of UK trials. The reforms will give magistrates the power to hear cases that have a maximum sentence range of up to 18 months. The backup power to allow them to sentence a criminal up to 2 years will be created but held in reserve. So, having a sole person deciding your fate in some of these cases. That's wild. Now, current magistrates can impose a sentence of up to 12 months or a fine of unlimited amount. Legislation would need to be introduced to bring in the changes. Oh, so they have to. They haven't had the legislation yet. They're just doing it. They don't have the legislation to do this yet. The liberal Democrats said jury trials were a fundamental right and called for a strategy that increases court sitting days, make it better use of underused courtrooms, fix broken private contracts, and leave defendants stuck in prison vans, and invest in rehabilitation to reduce reoffending. Who was pushing this? It was okay. That's very curious. That's very curious. So I don't know. Are they going to try that shit here? You know, are they going to try that shit here? I don't know. I just don't know. All right. Okay. I don't even have anything. I don't have any other articles open today. I will put the aggregator in here. Let me give you some headlines from the aggregator, and we'll just scroll through here, and you can decide if you want to see some of these. Later today, Pakistani Muslim terrorist busted planning to shoot up University of Delaware. Oh, yay. Good God. DC National Guard shooting suspect pleads not guilty to murder. Oh, really? How? Okay. DHS docs reveal National Guard shooter just the tip of the iceberg for Afghan refugee jihadis. Yippee. Let's see what else. Man throws Molotov cocktails into an LA federal building. I haven't heard that one. Oh my gosh, I should have just opened these today. Trump's ICE reportedly targeting Somali illegal immigrants in wake of Minnesota fraud scandal. We knew that. We heard Trump talk about that. Alabama Zoning Commission rejects plan for Muslim school after massive town outcry. I mean, in some way that's unfortunate, but in some ways you go, this is getting scary. But I don't know why they do that. So anyway, there's a bunch of articles in here you can read. Here's an article on Tennessee Democrat Afton Bain. Let's go. We'll open this one. Washington Free Beacon. Tennessee Democrat Afton Bain loses bid to represent city she hates in the state she called racist. Now that's a headline. Yeah, that's a headline. I don't even need to read the rest of this. I'll leave it open. That's it. All right, guys. I appreciate your patience today as I'm looking down here at the chat. Is anyone else in here that I missed? I hope I'm going to figure this whole thing out with YouTube and, whatever you got to do. That's it. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. And it's really hard to watch the chat from my phone as I'm learning, but shit happens. And I can't even put the links in the chat because I don't have a chat to put it in. The links will be in the description of this video in about a minute or two. So that's it. Got to go. See you in the morning, tomorrow morning. Hopefully I'll have this fixed. My name's Dawg Knight. And I am out of here. God damn it. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.